What's good? What's good? It's the one and only. But what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Devin Haney. Actually, we got Caleb Plant in the news, man. My dude, Caleb Plant. You guys know, if you guys follow my channel, I'm a huge Caleb Plant supporter. That's my dude. Amateur fights, been in there with, like, we know each other. Caleb Plant spoke on the situation with Devin Haney, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip. Shout out to FightHype.com. They did an interview with Caleb Plant for his media workout. Make sure you guys go check that out. I'm gonna post a clip of what he said about Devin Haney, and then I'm gonna go ahead and speak on it. All right.
First seen Devin fight, like in the first round, I'm like, okay, maybe he's just, trying to figure things out. Maybe a little bit of fight jitters from the first Ryan fight, and maybe he'll settle down. But after 12 rounds of that, you can't have nervous energy and do that for 12 rounds. The only way you can do that for 12 rounds is if you train to do that for 12 rounds, which lets you know that was a game plan. That's what was asked of him. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of conditioning and focus to be able to do that for 36 minutes. And Jose's no bum. At the same time, it's not Devin's job to make it a more competitive fight. It's Devin's job to win as easy as possible. It was Jose's job to make it a more competitive fight. It was Jose's job to cut off the ring. And, Jose has trouble with punching without setting his feet. And now, did it make for the most appetizing fight? No. But
now, listen, I'm going to go ahead and say this right here. Shout out to Caleb Plant, man. My dude always keeping the 100. Now, I understand, like, okay, Devin Haney's performance was not like the most fan friendly, right? I get that, and that, that's not. I don't even think that's up for debate. Cool. However, this is my issue. My first issue is, like, bro, none of the fights were entertaining this weekend except for Inoue's fight. None of the fights were entertaining, right? Why is Devin Haney the only person getting slack? If you guys remember, I just did a video yesterday, and I was reading the article, and in the article they were talking about the weekend, and the only person they talked about was how you had lackluster performances by, like, Devin Haney. Now here's my thing, bro. Why is Devin Haney the only person getting slack for this when you had Ryan Garcia, who was your main event, by the way, which is bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me that somebody on the quote-unquote undercard, right? Because you guys were already saying, oh, Devin Haney's fighting on the undercard of Ryan Garcia. So let me get this straight. You guys let a boring performance on the undercard overshadow the performances on the main event. How does that make sense? Like, when does that happen? When have you ever known that to happen? Like, right? You guys criticize, it's like you guys criticize Devin Haney, but nobody talks about Ryan Garcia being gun shy and didn't want to throw no punches. This dude, the only difference between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney was Devin Haney was actually able to move, whereas Ryan Garcia doesn't bend his legs enough and he's too flat-footed to move around. But he didn't know how to do anything other than try to jab and stay and afraid to throw. It seemed like he was afraid to throw a punch because he didn't want to get hit by Rolly or whatnot. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about Canelo Alvarez. Well, Canelo not doing, like, this is what irritates me about the sport of boxing. And I don't like to use the term running. And this is my thing, right? If you are going to consider yourself the best, that means you have to be able to adapt to any style that's put in front of you, right? Caleb Plant said the best thing, and I'll never forget. I can't remember who was the writer that said this, but I'll never forget the quote that they stated when Mayweather fought Pacquiao and everybody was criticizing Mayweather. The quote was, Mayweather should not be expected to give up his advantages just to please the crowd. And the same thing should be expected for any fighter. First and foremost, you guys were all saying, oh, why did Devin Haney just standing there and fight Ryan Garcia? He should have been boxing more. Actually, in truth be told, the only adjustment Devin Haney needs to make is he needs to stop shooting a bow and arrow jab. And if you guys know boxing, you know exactly what a bow and arrow jab is. Instead, he just needs to glue that right hand to his face when he jabs. Other than if he would have done that, he would have been good. But he throws like a bow and arrow jab, which allows his face to be open, and Ryan Garcia was just able to time it and punch with him, and it is what it is. But Devin Haney got up, he showed hard. I thought Devin Haney was outboxing the hell out of Ryan Garcia, bro. Like, Ryan Garcia looked trash in that fight, if I'm being 100. You can go back and watch it. They just dropped it like 3 weeks ago again. But Ryan Garcia looked trash in that fight, but he just was able to catch Devin. All right, it is what it is. It's other factors into that, but I don't even have to get into that. But it's like, to me, it's just a shame that, you know, dude has to, he receives all this criticism, and none of the fights were entertaining. Nobody talks about Arnold Barboza and his poor performance against Teofimo Lopez. Nobody talks about Ryan Garcia and his poor performance against Rolly Romero. Nobody even talks about how Rolly's performance was poor against Ryan Garcia. All right, everybody wants to talk about Devin Haney. Nobody talks about how Canelo Alvarez, he's supposed to be the face of the boxing, but this dude can't even cut off the ring in order to get to William Scope. And I get it, William Scope was not coming to win, so it's hard to look good against somebody that's coming to win. But here's my thing: you got Canelo. He chose him. Canelo chose to fight him. So who's really to blame here? You can't blame William Scope off of that. Canelo chose to fight. Well, yes, you can. You can blame him off of his performance, but Canelo chose to fight dude. So, I mean, you got to criticize Canelo at that point. Like, why did you choose to fight dude? So, it's just, you know, to me, it's just crazy that, like, it's bizarre how just Devin Haney just is the only person that just receives the criticism. Furthermore, Devin Haney he stuck to a game plan, and, you know, he outboxed Jose Ramirez. Everybody was talking about that was a dangerous fight, including myself. I felt like that was a dangerous fight coming off of, you know, a year layoff, and nobody else wants to, like, and that's another thing that nobody wants to acknowledge. I mean, the fact that dude come off of a year layoff, and he took a lot of punishment in the Ryan Garcia fight. You saw his face was swelled up or whatnot. It just is what it is. But I know a lot of YouTubers, particularly ones that like to favor anything that the PBC does, they want to criticize Devin Haney. So since you want to favor anything that the PBC does, well, here's a PBC fighter stating, like, bro, at the end of the day, he was following his game plan. And that's just that. He was following his game plan. It is what it is. Was it the most entertaining? No, I'm gonna say that. No, it wasn't the most entertaining, but it is what it is, bro. You got to get the victory, because guess what? If Devin Haney would have lost, all you guys would have been like, oh, that Ryan Garcia fight took a lot of him. Now he's done. Devin Haney is done now. That Ryan Garcia fight took too much out of him. He's done. He don't even got it. Like, all of you guys would have said that. You cannot come on this channel and lie and say you wouldn't, right? It just is what it is. Devin Haney got the victory. Now on to the next. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if Devin Haney fights Rolly Romero. I don't even think Rolly Romero wants to fight Devin Haney. Not because Devin Haney is I'm going to tell you this right here, so don't try to fall for the okie doke. He doesn't want to fight Devin Haney because Devin Haney is a quote-unquote runner or a born fighter. He doesn't want to fight Devin Haney because he knows he cannot handle that type of style. Ryan Garcia is too flat-footed to be trying to cut off the ring with Devin Haney. He's going to walk into a lot of mistakes, and he's going to be missing, and it is what it is. That's why Rolly doesn't want to fight Devin. Not because, and it has nothing to do with him feeling like he's going to get stopped, because I don't think Devin Haney would knock out Rolly. He's not really known for his power, right? Albeit he obviously has some pop in his punch. He's just not known for knocking guys out or getting guys out of there. So that's okay. I don't think Rolly is afraid of him in that aspect, but I know Rolly knows, like, damn, I'm not going to look good against this guy, because this guy's going to outbox the hell out of me. Point blank, period. So I don't know what Devin Haney does next. Maybe he fights Ryan Garcia. Kind of messed that bag up in that fight, though. I don't know. I guess, they could fight. I mean, since, technically it would still be a revenge fight. I mean, they could fight, but I don't know if it would be a main event, if I'm being honest. It probably would be on somebody's undercard, unless if they build it back up, which I'm not sure how they're gonna do that. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know how do you build that fight back up now? Like, Ryan Garcia. I mean, who does Ryan Garcia fight? I mean, I guess you could put him in there with a no name and let him get a knockout just to get some type of buzz back. I mean, yeah, I guess that's probably like the only thing that you can really do. But it is what it is. I just don't think that it's fair. Like who? Nobody's like gonna go and say, well, Ryan, why wasn't Ryan Garcia throwing punches? What did he do? Like, it is what it is. You guys just it's just funny to me, like how Devin Haney just receives all the slack for the weekend being just a boring weekend. That's funny. Nevertheless, bro, it is what it is. You know, I think Devin Haney should continue to I don't know how he fares at 147. Some big dudes up there. Devin Haney's kind of a big guy himself, right? But I just don't know how he's gonna fare against the likes of like a Jerron Ennis or I think he would beat Mario Barrios though. But like a Conor Benn or something like that, those are going to be some really tough fights for him because, for one, Conor Benn is very explosive. For two, Jerron Ennis is a big dude. So I don't know how he fares. But, it is what it is. I mean, I still, I think Devin Haney is definitely one of the most just fundamentally sound boxers or whatnot. Definitely has a great jab and a very good IQ as well. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What do you want to see from each fighter next? But what do I know?